In this vid, I'm going to be doing a deck review for XinPulls. XinPulls is probably one of my favorite PokeTubers because he is the creator of the intro that I've been featuring for the past several weeks. And as a thank you for the great intro, I agreed to do a deck review for him. I really appreciate his patience because he has been waiting for quite a while, and it's even been a few weeks since I've done any deck reviews at all. So I thank not only him, but everyone else as well for their patience. I've been pretty busy with school and work, and deck reviews take quite a while to put together. So it's been easier for me to just try and keep up with the TCBMs, the set videos, the booster openings, and all those things because those are relatively fast to get up. The deck that XinPulls submitted initially looked like just a typical Emboar Reshiram deck. Very powerful deck right now, but still wasn't that exciting. But then when I took a closer look at it, I realized it was a little bit different. He's got a Shuckle and a Shaman line to kind of increase his draw power rather than the traditional Ninetales. There's a little bit of a different twist to this deck, and there's a few other things that are a little bit different about it as well. Since it has been a while since I've done deck reviews, I do realize that I'm probably going to be a little bit rusty getting back into it. I'm trying a few new things out with the format as well. I'm not sure if anyone will notice or not, but it might make my life a little bit easier in the long run. I would like to say though that there is one more suggestion that I would like to make for this deck that I forgot to include when I was filming the original part. The list currently does not run any plus power, and I think the deck should run anywhere from 2 to 3 plus power so that Reshiram can ensure that he's one-hit KOing everything he can. So now that this has been a pretty long introduction, let's go ahead and take a look at the vid. The starting line consists of 2 Smeargle, but I really do prefer the 1 Cleffa or 1 Manaphy rather than the Smeargle. I hate the risk of portraiting a Juniper or something else that could potentially be very damaging, and the Cleffa does, has that risk of the baby donk, but at the same time being asleep could also stall your opponent for a little while. He runs a 2-2-2 line of the ability Emboar in order to attach as many fire energy as he can per turn. With Pokemon Catcher, you definitely need to increase your line of basics in case a Tepig is captured up very early, so I would recommend increasing that to a 3-2-2 line. That allows you a few more basics for air, and there's always a chance that your Emboar can be captured up and knocked out. So having 3 Emboar allows you to be able to set one up later in the game without the use of Flower Shop. And if you happen not to need it, then you can always just junk arm them away. You tech in 2 Zekrom for matches against the water opponents, but I really think that you can lower that down to 1 Zekrom to make a little more room in the deck. The chances of it being consistently prized in matches like this are pretty slim, and Reshiram can still hit for 120 turn after turn, so you shouldn't have a big problem even against water decks. I do like the 3 Reshiram, especially considering you use Rescue and Revive. You may even be able to reduce that down to 2 Reshiram in case you're finding that you need room for other cards. The more consistent, though, is sticking with 3 Reshiram. An interesting aspect of this deck, and what could speed it up or could hurt it in the long run, is the addition of Shuckle and Shaman. You run 2 Shuckles so that every time you attach an energy to it, you get to draw a card. That helps you go through your deck and find what you need. And then Shaman allows you to move those energy onto your Reshiram or Emboar or whatever you want to do to attack. Unfortunately, that also takes up a lot of bench space and could really hurt you late game. Your opponent can easily use Catcher to bring up those Shaman and Shuckle for easy knockouts. Your energy line is pretty good. You currently only run 2 Lightning Energy, and if you're going to stick with 2 Zekrom, I would definitely increase that to 3, just because the chances of you being able to pull both of those cards, if they're the only ones in the deck, are fairly slim. You also run 2 Rescue Energy to be able to reuse your Reshiram without the use of Revives, but you could probably go down to 1. Especially if you decide to increase your line of junk arms, 1 would be very safe. The rest of the space you dedicate to fire, which I think is perfect. Another Pokemon I would consider adding in, or maybe even replacing Shaman, is Unknown Return. That would allow you to return all the energy that you just attached to Shuckle back to your hand, and then you can reattach it to Shuckle if you need to draw more, if you're looking for a particular card, or you can reattach them to your other Pokemon to attack. You've got a pretty good line of trainers and supporters already, but I do have a few suggestions. I would increase your line of Junk Arm to 4, and decrease your line of Energy Retrieval down to 2. Since you also run 2 Fishermen, that's a total of 4 cards to get energy back from the discard pile. Including Junk Arm, being able to reuse those Energy Retrieval, you can increase that number if needed. I would also increase your number of catcher to 3 to be able to catcher up your opponent before he can really get set up. I would typically suggest adding a flower shop girl. However, since you have so much energy retrieval and you run the revives to get your Reshiram and Zekrams back, you probably don't need it. However, without a flower shop, I think that's more of a reason to run a higher line of ability Emboar. With Emboar being a stage 2, there's a good chance that you're probably not going to be the first to take prizes, so teching in 1 twins could really help you out. I know I've suggested to add quite a few cards, but I haven't really suggested a few things to take out. I really don't care for the 2 Super Scoop Up. They're going to be useless in trainer locks, and your Seekers are much more consistent. Super Scoop Up is just a flippy card overall, and one that I really don't care for unless you're going for a Zekrom speed deck. I think you could also easily drop your interviewers down to a single 1. With the use of Shuckle, Energy Retrieval, and Fisherman, you should have no problem getting through your deck and being able to find the energy rather than using interviewers. If you do have any more room in this deck, I would recommend increasing your number of hand refreshers, specifically your Professor Oak's new theory, to possibly 3 or 4. Not only is it great for just refreshing your hand size, but because of Shuckle, you may be drawing through your deck really fast, and you may need that Pont to refresh your deck size so you don't deck out and automatically lose the game. Those are all the suggestions I have, and again, I really thank XinPulls for the amazing intro that I've been getting quite a few compliments on. If anyone else would like their deck reviewed, please PM me the list and the format that you've seen in this video, and then let me know if you would like a video review or a blog review. A blog review I can get done within a week or so, but a video review will take several weeks to do because of the waiting list on other reviews at the moment. Thanks for watching!